Okay. So by looking at this output, we should not say program is executed correctly because sometimes what happens, like in case of C and C++, what I noticed is like when students were executing programs. So if they get the black screen, say they were telling like we got the output, whatever the messages displayed on the console screen, they were telling we got the output, but we should see expected output we are getting it or not. So if you are not getting expected output, then program is not executed correctly. So there will be mistake in the logic. There will be mistake in writing the program. In editor, if it is not showing error 0, warning 0, that doesn't mean that we will get correct output. Okay. So we have to check the output. So here also, if I am looking at this output, whether I'm getting the expected output or not, yes, I didn't get it because actually I was expecting the message end of program. So I have written system.println end of program. So this message is not displayed. Okay, in the previous two lines there is a mistake, I know, but the Java runtime system would have handled this error and it should be displayed this message, but I'm not getting this message. That means in the previous line there is a error which will avoid to display this message end of program. That error message is displayed on the console. So that error message is exception. The first word only it is saying exception. Exception means runtime error. During program execution, I got this error. Exception in trend main java.lang. Arithmetic exception. So it is exception name is arithmetic exception. So arithmetic exception is a class name. And what type of error it is? Divide by 0. So it is showing division symbol and the words by 0. So at line number 7. So here line number is 7. In the document it is 6 because I have used the first statement as package exception. Okay. So only it is displaying the error message at line number 7. So this line is present at line number 7. Okay. Now, by this what we came to know is, like if I am not using try and catch statements, try is used to monitor the error, catch is used to handle the errors. Okay. If I am not using try and catch statements, Java provides one default error handler system and it displays the error message. Okay. Okay. So before I go to the next topic, if you have any doubts still here, you can ask. I'll just wait for a few seconds. Okay. So here the class name exc, the method name main, and the file name exe.java and the line number 6 are all included in the simple stack trace. Say, we know the word tracing. Tracing means line by line execution. So trying to know line by line execution. So what happens at this particular line in a program? The next line, what happens like that? That is nothing but tracing. So it is saying trace. Stack trace means here, see what happens when the error messages are displayed, that is during program execution, it will show the method in which error is displayed and it will show the file name, it will show the line number, everything. So all the details it will show. That is nothing but stack trace, showing the file name, class name, line number, error message. So this is nothing but stack trace. Also, the type of exception is thrown is a subclass of exception called arithmetic exception. So subclass of exception means exception is a superclass, arithmetic exception is a subclass. So in this diagram it is present. Just if you look at this diagram, exception is a superclass, arithmetic exception is a subclass. Okay. So also the type of exception through any subclass of exception called arithmetic exception, which more specifically describes what type of error happened. The stack trace will always show the sequence of method invocations that led up to the error. For example, consider the following program. So in this program, how the error is displayed and how that stack trace will look like, we will see. Okay. So what I have done here is, in class exc1, I have used one method called as subroutine. Subroutine is a method. Apart from main method, one method I have used a subroutine. And it is the static. So here, about static also will come to know. So when I use the word static for the method, so what is the property will come to know. So here what I have done, int d is equals to 0, a is equals to 10 by d. So of course 10 by 0 means 10 by d is nothing but 10 by 0. So d value will be 0. So 10 by 0 means it will show an error. In the main method, what I have done, I am calling this subroutine method. See, how I am calling subroutine method means I am not creating object of class. Directly I am calling, because subroutine method, for subroutine method, what I have done, I have made it as static. So when you're writing static keyword for a method, you can call the methods directly by the class name itself. You need not create an object. Directly you can call. So only for main method also made it as static, because main methods are called by interpreters in case of Java. So in Java, interpreters will call the main method. So interpreter, it will not create any object directly, it will call the main method. Similarly here, subroutine. How did I call means exe1. exe1 is class name dot method name. No need of creating object. Then system.println end of the program. Now we will see what happens here. See, in the main method, exe dot subroutine, so it's line number 10, is it correct? 9, 10, line number 10. When this line is executed, when this particular sentence is executed, the program control will move to the subroutine, right? So you just look at the arrow mark, it will move to the subroutine method. In subroutine method, after executing d is equals to 0 and d is equals to 10 by d, 10 by d means d value we have to substitute here. So 10 by d is nothing but 10 by 0. At this line, error will be generated because any number divided by 0, it is division by 0 error. Okay. The difference between previous program and this program is, in previous program I have not used any other methods, that means other than main method. In main method only I have done the error. In this program, so what I have done, same error I have generated in one method. Okay, in one method I have generated that error. The difference I will tell you why like that. So it's line number 6. Okay. Now, see, you just look at this message, error during execution, that is runtime error. Here we will see how error message is displayed. So we'll come to know the difference between previous program and this program. See here how error message is displayed is exception in thread main java.lang.arithmetic exception. Yes, in the first line it will display the error message. Error message is division by 0. Arithmetic exception, it is division by 0. Next, at exception, subroutine. Subroutine is a method. Okay, subroutine is a method here. In subroutine, line number 6. That means you have to count from starting. That is, class exe1 is line number 1. Okay, opening brace line number 2. Static void subroutine line number 3. Then opening brace line number 4. Int d is equals to line number 5. Int a is equals to 10 by d. So this is the line number 6. Okay. Line number 6. So that it is that message it is telling. So in this program, in line number 6, we are getting error because a is equals to 10 by d. Okay. See, if this much it is displayed, then enough, right? So we will come to know the error. But one more level it is going. That means at exception exe.main, exe1.main, exe1.java, line number 10. In 10 also there is an error. That means what it is showing. See, how did I come to know that error is there at line number 6, a is equal to 10 by 0? Because I have called this subroutine method, so only I came to know. If subroutine method itself it is not called means, then this error we will not come to know, right? So if I delete this line in the program, in the main method, if I delete this line, if this line is not present, exe1 dot subroutine, if it is not present, then this method will not call. That means this method will not work. It is not invoked. If this method will not work means, so this error message will not be displayed. Even though error is there, it will not display because these lines only will not execute. Int d is equals to 0, int a equal to 10 by d, these lines only will not execute. If these lines are not executed means error messages will not show. But when I write this line, because of this line only this method will be called, and because that method is called, error message is displayed. So what it is telling, at this line also error is there, at this line also error is there means this line only it is causing error. From this statement it is moving to the subroutine method. In the subroutine error is generated. So from which method you are calling, that means from which statement you are calling the method, that line also it will display, and where the error is generated, that line also it is displayed. So this statement is present in line 10, okay, line number 10, and this line is nothing but line number 6. So only two, that means two lines are displayed. That is line 10 and line 6. So you just look at the error message. So exc1 dot subroutine in subroutine method line number 6, in main method line number 10. So this line is causing the error to be generated. So two things are displayed. This is called as stack trace. Stack trace means from starting point it will show from which line method is called, and in the method which line is causing the error. Two things it will show. Okay. So in the above program, in the above program, the bottom of the stack is mains line 10. That line is causing the method subroutine to be called, which is called subroutine, which caused the exception at line 6. So only two things it is displaying. That means two line numbers it is displaying. Okay. So we'll try to execute this program. Okay. So this is the program. Okay. Uh, so I will execute this program. Okay, you just look at the error messages. So when you compare with the document, one line will be increased because of the first statement package exception. Package exception is considered as first line here. Okay, and class exc1 is considered second line. So only int a is equals to 10 by the seventh line. Exc dot subroutine is 11th line. Okay, plus one you should add. That's all. Okay. Exception in thread main, you just look at the error message. Arithmetic exception, division by 0. At exception, exc1 subroutine. See, in the subroutine, line number is 7. So, in the editor only, it will show line number exactly. It is 7. So, this line is at line number 7. And this line is at line number 11. So it will show the method where you have called, and in the method also where the error is generated. Two things it will show. This is called as stack trace. Okay, it will trace from which line it is causing error. That means from which line this method is called, and in this method which line is causing error. Two things it will trace. So it is called as stack trace. Okay. Now, if suppose if I delete this line, that is if I don't call the method. If I delete this line and if I execute the program, you see error will not be displayed at all. Even though error is there in this line, int a is equals to 10 by 0, this will not display only. Okay, you just say, see, I am getting the output. That is end of program. Actually, in the previous program also, I was expecting the message end of program. So here also I am expecting the message end of program, because division by 0 error is there in both the programs. It will not show end of the program message. Okay. So if I delete exc dot subroutine line, so it will not show the error because method is not called. If the method is not called, means this method will not work. These statements will not work. It is not executed. So if these statements are not executed, means even though error is there, it will not display. Okay, so in this way we have to understand. That is the meaning of stack trace. Okay. So now it will show the error. See, so at line number 11, that is in main method, and line number 7, that is in subroutine method. Okay. Okay.